Welcome to my world.
Stay tuned for the video. Enjoy. When you're mixing Jdiction resin Crete, it's a mix of 10 to 3, which is 10 ratio of 10 of the Crete and 3% of that 10 for the water. I have gotten to where I mix it by sight, especially when I'm mixing small amounts. So basically what you're seeing here is I'm working with a just a paper cup. It's a 5-ounce paper cup, and I'm just mixing enough up to get me started, and I'm going to mix as I need because I'm going to be doing different colors. But anyhow, the mixing ratio is 10 to 3. That I am adding a little bit more Crete just to get it to the consistency that I like, period. I'm using the Jdiction resin Crete pigments, and you just had me, or I just showed you, wow, I cannot talk today. I'm starting off with the purple pigment out of the Jdiction resin Crete pigment box. I really liked how the purple turned out in my seashells or conch shells or whatever you wanted to call them. And I wanted to do the edges in this purple. So that's what I'm mixing up here. Here I'm mixing up more resin Crete, just eyeballing it to make sure that I like the consistency. You want to make sure that it is completely dissolved, that there's no lumps in your resin Crete. And I like it just a little bit thinner than honey. In this project, I will be using Jdiction's resin Crete pigment. You can purchase that from Amazon if you just search that. But I used purple, I used yellow, I used green, I used pink, and I used orange. I will fast forward this just a little bit. this mix is unmoldable at 30 minutes. So yes, it had kind of started to set up, especially the purple. So I'm going to go ahead and add the green as a back to this. And then, like I said, you can unmold it after 30 minutes. Sometimes if I'm doing it that quick, I usually like to leave it till 45 because it is, you can feel the dampness in it. But I always leave it for 24 hours before I start sealing it. Now for sealing it, I just use the Krylon clear indoor-outdoor sealer, and I always put 3 coats on the entire thing. So that would be 3 coats on the top, 3 coats on the bottom. Adding it up, this tray holds 6 ounces or close to 6 ounces. I purchased this tray from Amazon, but I know that you can get it off of Temu, and it's like a cloud tray. At this point, I haven't sealed it. I just had those I had set out thinking that I did want to put them in that tray, and I'm just kind of eyeballing it a little bit. But we will not actually place anything until 2 days later because we're going to wait 24 hours to seal it and then 24 hours for the sealant to completely dry. Alrighty, so this has 3 coats of sealant on top and on back. I think it's pretty cool looking, even if it's, but I had picked these things out, and I was looking at them to make sure that I had them the right way, and these are like those bells, so they hang down and then there's butterflies in them. And I thought I'd place that one kind of like right there. And here's some more bells. So I want to probably move that a little bit and place the bells kind of beside each other, like there's 2. And I was going to place the other fairy, I was thinking kind of right there because she's kind of up from one of them. And then the butterfly. Do you think that's too busy? I'm not real sure. These are, maybe I should overlap, or maybe just put her in the middle like this, and put the butterfly in there and leave the other one out. I don't know. I think this is best. And the butterfly is coming in from this direction. No, actually he's coming in from that direction now that I look at it. I like that. And we'll leave that one out. That's what we're going to do. All right, so I'm going to get a piece of tape. Just a small piece. And it's easier sometimes. See how that come directly off so you're not fighting with it? And place that right there. And sometimes your nails get in the way. Most definitely. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to place this one first. You see how that just peels back? Makes it so easy to get them off. And I'm going to peel that tape off and just lay that down. Let's do this one. Let me move this. I want to see. I'm going to overlap right there. And just peel this tape off. And that one, oops, no. Want to make it even down here. There we go. And just pull that tape off. That's pretty. I think that's pretty. I'm just going to lay this tape over all these little pieces that are going in the garbage and get those in the garbage. Now, I don't want to just leave just these on here. I'm going to put a thin coat of resin on here. And I think I'm just going to mix up some Promise. And I'm going to go ahead and turn this heat mat on. And I think like three ounces would work. So I'm going to mix that up. Now, these I don't really heat. I find that they create more bubbles for some reason. So I'm going to just measure them out. And I told you I was going to work on that word, didn't I? I guess I lied. But let me, there we go. I'm going to measure the same amount into the cups and then mix them. And part A is so much thicker. These are little 3-ounce cups. I don't think I'm going to need 3 ounces now that I'm looking at it. I'm not even sure I'm going to need 2 ounces to do. So, stick that back there. I'll let got that level so that I can pour the exact amount of B. This is a 72-hour cure. See how much thinner part B is. Get down, make sure I have the exact measurements. And this does have an odor to it. Most of the resins, artist resins, don't really have much of an odor. This does. And I still need just a little more. I use my respirator with some resins, and I probably should have a respirator on with this one, but we're there now, so we'll just deal with it. All right, let me set that back there. Let me put these up. And let me get a stir stick out of the handy dandy stir stick jar. Those are measured exactly. I'm going to pour B into A because B is thinner. And these little, some people are just really into fairies. Some little girls just really love fairies. Yeah. I sell a lot of fairy things. I hide fairies in some of my items. It has a hidden fairy and frogs and things like that, some of those items. And I just love them because you can't, they're not obvious, but they're in there. And if you look, you can see your hidden fairy. I think fairies are good luck. They watch over you, and that's why I do that. So let's stir this. It's going to get bubbles, guys. But it's just going to be so thin that we'll just watch it and spray it. And Promise used to be Pro Marine. I used to buy Pro Marine a lot for some items, especially items that I would be putting outside. And I'm not real sure if they bought out, if they combined labels, but Pro Marine is now Promise. It's quiet in here. Nothing's running. That exhaust or the air purifier thing that Larry has a big one in over there. It usually kicks on to pull everything out. It hasn't kicked on for a little bit. So it's super quiet down here right now. If somebody was to come in upstairs, first off, my cameras would be going crazy and sending me alerts, but you can hear them walking. You can even hear them walking on the front or the back porch from down here. It's crazy because upstairs, the third level of the house, they can hear everything from downstairs. Like if you're sitting in the front room and you're talking, or in the dining room, or sometimes even in the kitchen, or in our master bedroom, which is at the front of the house. The front bedroom upstairs, which is my grandson's on the 3rd floor, is his, and he can hear everything. And it's funny because one day I told my Echo to read my Kindle, and I was in my room, like, making bed and folding clothes and stuff like that. And he was upstairs trying to sleep because of college classes. He comes in,
And he works when he's in as well. He has like 3 different jobs when he's in. But anyhow, he come down those stairs. He's like, Mimi, that's not gonna work. I'm just like, oh, grandson, I'm sorry, I forgot you were even here. And he's like, that's nice. And I'm like, I don't mean it that way, but you know, it looks like it's pretty mixed. We got lots of bubbles, but it's fine. It will be fine, I promise you. So this is starting to warm up. I can feel the heat. Yep. I think that's pretty. It's different, you know. It's different, but this resin Crete, I just love it. And I'm going to be doing more like succulent pots and little jars and containers with resin Crete coming up. Now that I got the pigment, the Jdiction pigment, which I really like, yeah. I think I dropped a little bit of resin over there. Huh. I may rub some along the edges. So what I'm going to do first, so I'm going to put it in, and I'll rub it in and around these stickers. Like that. I was watching a YouTuber the other day, and I'm not going to mention any names, but she was pretty harsh on there, and she was talked about she had made something and somebody else had copied her, and they know who they were, and they could have at least shouted out to the person that originally made it. Well, I'm sorry guys, you don't have to watch somebody to do something the same. You don't. Because when she was talking about it, I'm like, I've done it that way and I've never watched you do it before. And I just thought it was really harsh, because just because you do it doesn't mean you're the best or you were the first. You can't possibly know who the first is. You can't. Now, Daniel Cooper, he does a lot of first. He really does. But Daniel Cooper works on being the first at something, you know. But this person, I was like, wow. Like, I just don't believe in acting like you're the best. Because you're, you know, you could have 5 of us resiners tables side by side, and everybody's work will be different. And I always say, what you do is going to appeal to somebody, but not everybody. And it's kind of like that whole one man's trash is another man's treasure. That's why people, you know, people throw things out, or they send it to the flea markets, or they set it on their street and say free. You know, they're past the point of liking it, and somebody else take it because they then like it. You don't like it, but they like it. And I think we all do things alike, and then we all do things different. Because it's eye appeal, guys. It's eye appeal. You know, it's just like having taste buds. Some people don't like the way things taste. I don't want a beet. Don't try to give me a beet, you know. My husband loves them. I don't like them. So the way you see something, if you like it, you might like it, but somebody else doesn't. And that's just how people are. Okay. So now that I kind of got that worked in around them edges, I'm going to pour some of this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to roll it around. And just let it roll around the curves and make its way. And like I said, I got a drip over here, I may just rub some along the top edges just because. Excuse me. It is pretty thick. And that little bit is going a long way. I think that's pretty, guys. I really do. I'm not going to fast forward through this. I think that sometimes you need to know what time it takes to do something, because some people don't understand the time that goes into it. That's why when somebody tries to act like they're better, we all are doing it. Just don't believe in that whole aspect of I'm better than you. That's just not, it's not what it's about. Everybody has a talent. If they're doing it, they have that talent, and one person is not necessarily better than another. So I'm going to lay that down. Look how pretty that is. I'm going to add a little bit more here. It's leveling out. I think this is really pretty. It's different. It's definitely different. But I think I'm going to use my finger and put a thin coat up on top of the purple. I need to clean this finger off first because whew, my sprayer's sticky too. I need to clean that off. Uh-oh. Next to the last napkin in my IKEA box. But I like these IKEA napkins. I've said it in many videos that they don't, like if you're using a regular napkin, like I get the big packs of napkins from Sam's Club, they get white flakes that come off on your hands. And I'm not a fan. I just don't want to take a chance of that getting in a project. So there we go. And these are 6mm black gloves. I order them from Amazon. I just like them. They're size small. I like something that fits my hand. Occasionally you'll see me using something else probably because it was the closest thing to me. But if I'm in this work area usually, or if I start off in this work area, I use these. So I'm just going to smear just a very thin coat, kind of like you do in a tumbler, on this purple. Just a super thin, just running it along on this. I'm going to take it down to the inside. I'm just going to rub this on there like so. Oops. Got a little bit too much there. Wow, that is just pretty. What do you think? Is it just pretty? I think I'm going to set it up on one of these coasters. I want to get it up. And I may actually take it. I got it on my finger. I may actually take it all the way down the green. I don't know yet. Yeah, it's a good thing I put a glove on because I know it would be underneath my fingernails. I'm just going to go ahead and wipe all the way down to the green. Just going to put thin coat. Okay. Thin coat, tumbler coat. You see, those bubbles are already going places, right? They're already going places. It's going to be beautiful. Oh my gosh, I'm just so glad I did it like this. I'm just so glad I did it like this. Sometimes your best projects are not planned. You know? They're just not planned. And you can feel through the glove where you hit a dry spot and you've missed with the real thin coat. I can see right there in that little circle that it didn't go all the way up. There we go. We got it. And that'll level back down. And we've got this thin coat on here. That is pretty. That is really pretty. What should I do with this? It didn't take very much at all, did it? I didn't even mix up an ounce, I don't think. I think I used about a half an ounce on that. So, let's see. Let me wipe this glove off. Let me use this because I realize that this sprayer is, whew, it's nasty, sticky. Let's wipe this glove off. There we go. Now we got that cleaned off. Almost as good as new. Almost as good as new. Alright, so what should we do? So I pulled this out, and I'm going to use some of this in one of these later today, probably. Let me turn this heater up a little bit because this isn't sitting directly on it. But when I cover it, I want to make sure I got a good amount of heat. I need to put this back in its container. Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at it, making sure the bubbles are going places. I don't want to use alcohol or heat on this. You want me to tell you why? Because it's super thin layer. I want those bubbles just to come up and go away on their own, because it can separate this resin that is real thin on the sides. Now if I can do it like this and not get the sides, that will be optimum, and I think it did pretty good. I'm just going to keep an eye on it. But good morning. So I was not sure. I mean, I thought it was going to be really pretty, this tray. I wasn't sure, but I'm telling you right now, this thing is gorgeous. I know that it's odd with those colors, but I am 100%, 110% pleased with this tray. I want to show you. Wow. And I don't know that you can get the gist of it, but this tray turned out absolutely beautiful. I will take better pictures of it, but I am
I'm just absolutely pleased with this tray. Let me flip it around for you. Look at this. Is that not just beautiful? I mean, for people that like the purple and the fairies and stuff, but I think this turned out just, I mean, it is just beautiful. Sorry, got a business call, had to blank out, but I'm not kidding. I know this is just some kind of simple tray, but the colors, the resin Crete, that purple, those oranges, that yellow, and then putting the fairies and the butterfly and the flowers on there. And remember the top coat that I did and just kind of spread a thin coat all the way around the whole thing is the promise. Yeah, I'm super happy with this tray.